we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I,
You guys, you are not gonna believe this. Where are we?
Our land.
Addie.
we don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through and through. No limit
We're trying to
what we can
gauge it how deep it is.
Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
So here's Addie's watercolor painting of the pond. That is so good.
I had to improvise because I did the pond first, the water, then I did the grass, then I did the trees, and I forgot the sky.
Yeah, it looks good. I like that. It like illuminates the trees. Very cool. Yep, and here's Reagan's. Oh, I love it. You did such a good job.
Daddy was seeing how deep it was.
Yep, that's right. He was.
I think you should, Dad.
You and I, we got it.
So which one do y'all think it is?
Wolf. Maybe a lynx
You don't think it's just a big dog?
or fox. The other thing is it's one fox.
That's true.
It does look like a fox, see?
Yeah, where's the other foot?
Times just
Oh, there's some behind you.
Where's the other what?
Wait, look, there's one right here. People like that.
have, let's hold on
It's
tight.
a fox.
We're looking for in life.
Can we buy
We need to get flood insurance.
Us crazy, but
There's a lake. I
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can.
know how I didn't think about that until now.
you and I, the future is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
All right, all of this, we are buying land.
5 acres.
Yes, it's 5 acres.
With sunflower seeds.
Yes, she's obsessed with sunflower seeds. You're cracking that in my ear. Okay, so we are buying land. It does not come with that house right there. So, and actually only almost half of the pond is on this parcel of land and the rest is on the parcel with the house right there. So it's been for sale for a long time, but originally it was 10 acres. So, I mean, it's still, obviously it's 10 acres, but it wasn't selling. So they parceled off this 5 acres and that is what we are buying. I am so excited. Look at all my people. Throwing frisbee. So we came out here for the evening, afternoon, just to spend some time. This is our, well, technically our 3rd time coming out here. Kind of has a cool story that I will share with y'all. So, like I said, it's about just under half of the pond is on our side, and then the other half is on their side, and that sold as well. So we will hopefully meet our new neighbors soon. But then the pond kind of comes up and has like this little canal. It doesn't have water in it, but the canal, and obviously the pond does. but super excited. It's like the perfect hammock trees. So that's the stake, can you see, right there, marking the property line. So we're talking plans of where to put a house. There's our van. So we're not exactly sure of all the answers just yet, but we got one big step down. So we're kind of thinking of maybe placing the house not quite where they are, but maybe up some. So, and then we're thinking garden space back here, close to the pond. So obviously there's a lot of questions and I don't have a lot of answers. But like I said, we have the first thing done. Oh, there is a beautiful cardinal. Wow. Wow, that was really pretty. That was really pretty. So we have the first step done of securing the land. And then we are talking many different options of houses, pricing things, looking into several different options. We are waiting on a few people to get back with us on pricing and such. So we also toured some manufactured homes. So just kind of looking at all of the options. So the first big step is done. So like I said, we don't know exactly house-wise what we're doing yet, but we're moving in some sort of direction. So the cool story about this land is actually the land. So we did put an offer on another piece of property. It's in walking distance of here. It's not far at all. And that one did not work out because the owner decided that he wanted more money. Well, like I said, this has been sitting for sale for a long time, a part of the land that went with that house. Well, the owner sectioned it off because it wasn't selling. And we actually came and saw it. It took us we didn't come and see it right away because it was out of our price range. And we did come and see it, and this is the other piece of land that we put an offer on. And it just didn't work out. We weren't too terribly far apart in our offers, but we just didn't want to go up any higher. Well, we actually have friends that live within walking distance of here too, which is going to be amazing to be close to our good friends. And he had a workman out at his house, and it turns out it was the owner of this land. Well, they were talking, and our friend ended up mentioning to him about us, that we were looking for land, and he was like, well, I actually own that land that's for sale down the road. It doesn't sound like we're too far apart in numbers. Give me his name and number, and let's see if we can strike up a deal. So he called Nathan, like within like 30 minutes of our friend texting us. Our friend was like, hey, I might have some land for you guys. So the owner called us, and Nathan and him struck up a verbal agreement, and then we signed papers the next day, and like that's it. So cool. Like we really feel like God brought it to us, and just how it all was orchestrated and worked out and all of that. So it's just, we feel incredibly blessed. So our prayer now is, thank you, Lord, for the land. Now lead us to what house you would have us put on here. So I'm out here in I call this my thinking spot. I normally sit underneath this arched trellis, but as y'all can see, that's where the sun is. So I'm sitting over here in the shade. Nathan will come walking outside. Actually, a lot of the kids will too, looking for me. I don't notice that they're out here, but they can't see me whenever I'm sitting there. And it's just funny, like they'll notice me and they'll just be like, what are you doing? And I always say, just thinking. It's just my spot that I come to think and pray. I don't know, it's weird, but I enjoy sitting in the garden. So anyways, it is a couple days later, and I kind of wanted to fill y'all in on the gaps about our land. So we are incredibly excited. Just the way that this has all orchestrated and come together, it's just kind of cool and comforting to know that we feel like God is piecing this together for us. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little scary too, because while the land is beautiful and I love it, I mean, we need a roof over our heads. So I keep joking with Nathan and the kids and friends. I'm like, well, we bought dirt and now we just need a roof and 4 walls. So if y'all listen to country music, there's a country song that's kind of popular right now called Buy Dirt. I can't think of who it's by at the moment, but so we keep listening to that, and we bought dirt. So we are actually in the process of buying it. We should close in May. So like before the end of the month. It's a process, as I'm sure many of you guys know. All of this is, I mean, we've never bought land before, so we are learning as we're going, but it's super exciting. Hopefully it's not too windy out here and y'all can hear me. with how the housing market is right now, it is honestly easier to buy land if you can find it and put a house on there. So we are leaning towards a manufactured home. We talked to someone about building, and the prices of materials and the demand of materials as well is just astronomical. And we were told that roughly it would take about a year, and that, you know, we could do something else in that meantime. But we're just leaning towards a manufactured home. We can get more square footage for our money with that. Manufactured homes, as they are, have also skyrocketed in price. But it seems like we could do one that would fit our family. So that is kind of the route that we're going and that we are looking at. And I actually will have a video coming out of us looking at manufactured homes. But I want to take y'all along this journey of us buying the land and making these decisions and what we are doing. Y'all have been there throughout the thick of it. And I want to take y'all along the journey, even though I don't know all the answers and it may seem crazy to some people. It may make sense to others. But it was important to me to share this process with y'all and to thank y'all so much for your prayers and being there for us. Countless of y'all have emailed me or sent me messages on Instagram, your comments of your prayers for us and encouragement, and that has honestly carried me through. And y'all have shared so much with me, and it was always at the exact moment that I needed that, you know, pick me up, that encouragement that God does have this and He will open a door. And y'all were right. And it's like, you know that, but whenever you're in the thick of something hard, it's easy to lose sight of that, I guess I would say. So we are super excited about the land. It is 5 acres, and it is honestly just gorgeous. It is we've looked at a lot of pieces of land over the years, and it is really pretty. So it is completely cleared. We don't have to remove a single tree, which is very nice to already have that work done. It is fenced, but there isn't a cross fence. So I said it earlier, the original listing was for 10 acres with the home that y'all saw in those clips, but it wasn't selling. It was priced kind of high, but they ended up parceling off 5 acres off the back. So there isn't a fence separating, you know, the front house to the separate 5 acres. And there is a pond, and I know, and I'm concerned about the water and stuff like that with little kids. So we kind of have a game plan for that. We will probably put up a fence on our side, blocking off the pond completely, is my thought process, until all of our little kids are older and can swim. Is our kind of our game plan right now. Obviously a lot can change. We don't know really until we're out there just how things are going to flow and stuff like that. So just to kind of answer that, because I'm sure that, you know, I know a lot of you mamas out there are like, Jessica, there's water, and water always scares me too with little kids. But that's kind of my game plan, is that we would just fence it off on our side. But it is exciting to have a pond. Like, my older boys are excited to fish, and just having a water source I think is important too. So excited. Nathan and I are dreaming of just where we want to put things. This is going to be, you know, like, we have long-term goals. Right now our main focus is just to get out. There's a bug on my foot. It's just to get out there. Is the first step is obviously securing a house and setting that up. We are hopeful that we will be out there before the end of the year. So fingers crossed that everything lines up for us. So far things are lining up pretty good. But I'm a big picture kind of person. I'm like, okay, this is all the stuff that I want to do. And Nathan's like, slow down. Let's just focus on getting out there. And then we can do all the things over, you know, the course of time, which, I mean, he's right. So that's what we're doing, is we bought land, we bought dirt. We got dirt, and now we're just praying for God to help us and guide us to what house He would have for us. So I haven't updated in a while about stuff because this was kind of lining up and we weren't sure if it was going to work out. Okay, but a lot of our focus has been on trying to get the land. But I wanted to kind of update a little along the journey. So we were leaning towards the renovation house that I had shared with y'all. And while the house is beautiful, it was big enough, it would fit. The concern was the amount of work that it needed. And when you're doing a renovation loan, Like, you have to put in so much money to bring it up to appraisal value for the bank. And I don't know that we could have afforded to do that. And in the process, now it had a decent sized yard. It was smaller than our yard here, but I could have a little garden space, and the kids would, you know, be able to play safely outside. But just this yearning inside of me for land, and to have a bigger garden, and to have that land for the kids to grow up on, is just so deep inside me. It's something that we have wanted since we were newlyweds. And I said to Nathan, you know, the renovation house would be great, and it could be a stepping stone. That's perfectly fine. Like, we were fine with a stepping stone, you know, if we were there for a few years until we could do something more. But I was like, I'm just not ready to give up on the dream of having land. And literally, like, just a few days later, all of this started getting into motion. So it's just really cool how it all panned out. So we bought land, we're buying land. So I will take y'all along the journey. We right now are waiting for the appraisal to come back. And I don't foresee any issues happening with that. But as long as it appraises fine, like, we should be, you know, rolling and have a closing date at that point. So I told y'all it was cleared. It does have fencing except for the side where the pond is. It doesn't have utilities, so we have to, you know, navigate that and figure all that out. Now, if we go with the manufactured home place, we will just use them. Obviously, it's just easier. But we were kind of pricing some things to see if we could do it ourselves. I don't think we can. So, but this is the first step, is the land. So again, thank you guys so much for being there with us. And we will just take y'all along this journey. Y'all be blessed, and we'll see y'all in the next video.
Sleep. Hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through and through.